of my most favorite stories takes place under a dungeon in the basement. So, in middle school, for math class, for some reason, our classroom was located in the basement of the school in an unfinished classroom with no decorations. It basically looked like a prison cafeteria, a cell block, and half of the classroom was cut in half with cubicle dividers, basically is what it looked like. And on the other side of that was where all the kids who got in school suspension went. All the juvenile delinquents, you know what I mean? The ones that smuggled drugs in the school, building tunnels, breaking out, grand larceny. And I just remember being in that classroom just looking around like, yo, you got the wrong guy. I did nothing. I am an innocent man. And in this basement is where one of my core memories occurred, a dear memory. As you probably can tell from the title, and if you watch the other video, this story involves the same person, a good friend and the bane of my existence, Nick. So first things first, I gotta set up the setting. So remember that cell block? We're in class, and the way we sit is in a U shape. And at the end of one of the tip of the U's, I guess you would say, is my friend Francis. And next to him is me. And then there's an empty desk. No one sits there. And then at the corner of the U, there's Derek. And next to Derek, in the middle of the U, basically, is Nick. And on the other half of that U shape, I don't know who was there. It's all fuzz. I don't know who was there. But on the other side of that is where the teacher is. But on this specific day, we had a substitute teacher. And you know how substitute teachers are. They don't really care at all. Whatever happens, happens. And cameras zoom in on me. There I was, being an angel, a hardworking student, a studious student, an honest man, trying to make an honest living and slay out this packet work that doesn't matter at all. And as I'm so tunneled in onto the goals, I hear a paper ball crumple. And I look up, but not in time though. The paper ball had launched and smacked me right in the forehead. And who wasn't? None other than this man, Nick, up to his mischievous ways, ready to get his get back for something that I did earlier, which was probably nothing, to be honest with you, because that's how it goes. So what did I do? I tried to ignore him. I turned to him, looked him dead in the eye and said, "There is no war in Ba Sing Se." Maybe 2 minutes goes by. Boom! Right in the cranium again. I couldn't take it anymore. I said, enough is enough. As he's throwing paper balls at me, mind you, I just want to make note that Derek, you remember the person sitting next to him, is just has a sharp pencil and is erasing things. I know what you're thinking. This is a random fact. Hang on. It'll come into play later in the story. Just hang on with me, please. And I said to him, as he readied another paper ball, I said, "Nick, so help me God, so help the forces of nature. You better pray. Your days are numbered. I swears it. I swears it. On the 4th president of Mount Rushmore. I swears it on the Pillsbury Doughboy. If that paper ball hits me, watch what happens." I had made a claim, and I fully intended to back it up. He crumbled that ball up, and I watched him like a hawk, and he just slung the paper ball. And I ain't gonna lie, I bitched up. I ain't gonna lie. I bitched up. I flinched. I flinched, but the paper ball didn't hit me. It hit the wall right next to me. God damn it. It appears I had been hoed. Nick thought he had found a loophole. And since the paper ball didn't hit me, there was nothing I could do. He just sat there laughing, mischievous, like an imp, like a mythical creature, like a goblin. I did say, if that paper ball hits me, which it did, what was I to do? And I said to myself, "You can't keep getting away with it." Fast forward about 5 minutes. Everything's quiet. Back to, well, it's not quiet because there's a substitute teacher. Shit is actually like mad noisy for no reason. But in our section, It's quiet because we all being a studious student. But out of the middle of nowhere, and Nick starts screaming. And he has his hand in the air like this. And he's just screaming. And I go, Nick. Because I honestly thought he was just screaming to scream. I said, can you shut the fuck up? And this man, as he's screaming, he whipped around to me. Still screaming. But not breaking eye contact. And, you know, you see a big dude screaming, right? And his hand is like this. There's only one thing to think. You finna die. I'm finna die. It's over. I thought for some reason he just had a mental break and he had enough of my bullshit, which I wasn't even giving him no bullshit. And he was like, yeah, he's got to go. Because he was looking just dead at me, just screaming. So then I ain't going to lie. I didn't know what to do. And I really thought I was dead. I really thought, damn, that's my ass. I'm ready to get murdered, right? I'm ready to get taken out. He ready to unplug my PS4. And as I'm thinking this, I just started laughing. That was when I found out that if I get too stressed in a situation, I'll just start laughing. So that's what I did. I busted out laughing. I couldn't breathe. That was the hardest laugh I had ever had in my life. I'm just looking down at him as he's screaming at me, and I'm just laughing at him. And there's nothing I can do. So he's screaming for about like a good 3 minutes. I'm not gonna at the top of his lungs. And mind you, no one really notices because again, the class is noisy. Except a couple people, right? So my man's Francis right next to me. He looks up. He goes, Nick, can you shut the fuck up? And what does Nick do? He shifts his eyes from looking at me and starts looking at Francis. And again, he's continuing to scream. And I'm still laughing. So I look at Francis. And Francis is just bewildered by this behavior. And Francis makes eye contact with me. And he sees me laughing. So then we're both just laughing, looking at Nick like we don't know what the fuck to do. We're just laughing at this man just screaming at us. And then, as we're laughing, one of the girls walks by. I can't remember her name, but one of the girls, we'll just call her Susie. Susie walks by, and she's like, Nick, what's wrong? And he just doesn't break eye contact with either of us. So she just looks at him and then walks away. And then this was the craziest part of this whole story. The substitute teacher walked up to him, saw him just screaming at the top of his lungs, and just said, you know what? I honestly don't get paid enough. And just walked away. So I'm like, hey, y'all can't do that. Y'all gotta help the man. And that's when I realized, oh, stop laughing. Maybe ask this man, what's wrong? What caused him to just scream at the top of his lungs with his hands in the air? I'm still chuckling, by the way. So I go, Nick, what's wrong? Why are you making this mysterious primal scream out of the middle of nowhere? I don't understand. And Nick, in the middle of his scream, goes, ah! And flips over his hand. And his hand has a hole in it that's gushing blood. Now, this is what always reminds me of the difference between me and my good friend Francis. You see, I saw the hole in his hand gushing blood, and I laughed even harder. There was nothing I could do. I mean, you have to understand, I thought this man was ready to take me out. I thought he was ready to murder me. So when I realized that he was just screaming out in pain, screaming out in help, and he wasn't trying to murder me, what a relief. So I just laughed. My man's Francis gets up and goes, oh shit, don't worry, Nick, I'll get some help. And he talks to the teacher, gets him some help, talks to him, yada yada. Long part of this story short, Nick just gets up and goes to the nurse. The screaming crisis was over. But I mean, I'm still laughing at it. Fast forward to the next class. I asked Nick, what happened to you? Why were you screaming? How did you get a hole in your hand? And this man said, Derek stabbed me. Derek from earlier when I said, I know it doesn't sound important, but trust me, this is an important part. So when he said Derek stabbed him, my mind put the pieces together. You see, again, when he threw that paper ball, Derek was erasing with a sharpened pencil the sharp end in the air. When Nick threw that paper ball, he exaggerated the shit out of it. And his hand at some point must have just jammed into Derek's pencil, and he just never noticed. Because there's 100%, there's a 90%, there's an 80% guarantee that I'm positive that Derek did not stab this man. Why? Because Derek was just such a kind and gentle soul. He was kind to me, at least. And if Derek did happen to stab him, that's really a ride or die right there. I mean, thanks. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really got divine forces working out for me. Does this story have a wholesome conclusion? No, not really. But I mean, I think about this moment at least once a year, and I just start laughing uncontrollably again. So, I mean, at least we got that out of it. I mean, I've told several people this story. They all enjoyed it. Good time. Good time. Good friends. Good memories. Being in that cell block section, learning math against our will. What a time. All right. Get out of here. I'll see you. Just try your best.